Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Two Poor Kids. I'm Liz.
Christian. That's me.
That's you. Yeah. I always, in my head, right before we do our open, I almost always like flip and say like, this is Christian, because that's what I do on my other podcast. And then last minute, then I remember.
Sometimes I stall because in my head I have to stop myself from being like, my name's Christian and I'm an addict.
We have so many titles. So welcome back, everybody. And I'm gonna drive this time. I feel like you've been driving for the past little bit. And
I just want to sit with this octopus.
And if you're watching on YouTube or maybe on like a clip or something, there's a giant hand knit octopus that we got at a maker's market last year. Sorry, my doggo wanted to lay on top of the cords. So you need the cuddles today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe this will be a perfect episode for you then. Ooh. Yay. So Christian and I we're always talking. Like, we don't really wait for conversations for the podcast. And so some of this stuff, I think that we've talked about in the past week or two that I want to talk about today. And I'm sure that like we will have a better dialogue or a more extensive dialogue, about it. And yeah, I think I was like several things keep coming back for me that I want to talk about today. And the sort of like through line of this episode, I think, is like the things that we don't say or the things that we don't realize. And then like the silver lining, I suppose, is like the things that we're learning to say and the things that we're learning to realize. So I'm going to start off rudely.
With a poem.
Rudely. No.
Is it with a poem?
It's not with a poem. Although I have poems. Everyone talks about mom guilt, but no one really talks about wife guilt. It's realizing that the person who chose you sometimes gets whatever's left of you. After the kids, the chaos, the long days, he deserves my laughter, my softness, my attention, but some nights all I have is exhaustion. And still, he stays. Still, he reaches for my hand. Still, he meets me where I'm at after a long day of work. Still loves me right where I am. This season won't last forever. One day we'll find each other again in the quiet. Until then, my heart is always his. I sent this to you. I saw it on social media. Maybe you did too. And I was like, I don't feel like the last part applies. Like, I don't feel lost from you, but I feel like every single other part of that is true. And I like faltered on whether or not I would send that post to you, because I saw that and it hit me so hard because it's something that I live with like a lot of. Fun fact, this might be news to you. Like, if you know me, you might not know this, but like I am riddled with guilt about everything all of the time, especially if it has anything to do with like my perceived idea of like perfectionism. And there are many days where like many days this week where
It's only Tuesday.
And it's only Tuesday where I feel like, man, I'm already exhausted. And then I asked the next day, like we were both driving to our own jobs. And I asked if you had seen the post, and do you remember what you said?
Yeah, I said that it made me feel sad. And then you said, if that's what you took out of it, then. And I said that it's not that I feel sad that I make you feel guilty. It's that I feel sad that you have to feel guilty, or that you do feel guilty. We do a lot of very cool things, and I told you, which you promptly told me was incorrect, that my goal in life is to remove all the burdens. I wake up and just want to remove all of the burdens. And I do that. Yeah. And to me, that is how I serve you.
And see, this is where I think the direct conflict is.
Yeah.
Is I know that's actually your love language. You're saying like remove burdens, but you're actually just an acts of service guy. You're like, that is your love language. And so your love language is acts of service to make everything easier for like all of the people that you care for. Like you really want to show up. You want to be that person. And I have those exact same feelings, but acts of service is not my love language. It's my guilt language. And so like I feel good to do it and I want to do things and I love being of service to people, but like if I break it all the way down, my love language is probably like I love gift giving.
Yeah, that's true.
I love gift giving. And I love time. Like
Shout out to your sister.
To my sister.
Yeah.
My sister is the champion. Heather, if you're hearing
Wild.
this, she's the champion of gifts. Sidebar, we only met a few years ago. She's older than I am. And she just like sent us the first gifts, maybe without even ever actually having a conversation with me, certainly not with you. And the gifts were like crazy spot on. I'm certain she saw.
I have a signed copy of one of the Star Wars movies scripts.
Mm-hmm. My sister is wild. I love her. So like I'm sure that we will like get into this in many of the future episodes, but like the primary reason that I am in therapy, and after 2 years, like I cannot believe that it's still the reason that I have to keep going to therapy, is that like I don't want to do what I perceive as even minorly inconveniencing literally anybody else with my thoughts or my feelings or my actions or my lack of actions. And it's not anything that like anybody in my current life is suggesting that I'm not doing or doing. And it's hard. It's hard to be in therapy for 2 years and all like the things that we're talking about, and I have like grown and everything, is that like I hesitated to send you that post because I didn't, and my initial thought was like, I don't want him to feel bad for me, which you immediately did.
That's true.
I don't want him to feel like he has to take care of me, which is literally your favorite thing to do. And like, I don't want, there's just this, I think in my life, in all aspects of my life, I'm always questioning my own motive, which is crazy. That's one of the crazy parts of my brain is like, oh, am I doing this for attention? No, I actually can just have feelings. And and like half of those things that I didn't say to you before. So I don't. So it just makes me think about like, and we talked about this a little bit the other day, but like, what are the things that like we hesitate even to tell each other, and like, why? Is this your thinking face?
This is my thinking face.
Riveting audio.
Riveting audio. And I'm going to leave it all in, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can add. I can keep going if you...
Yeah, I was trying to think of something that I don't tell you.
The other day you were just like you resonated with that idea that you like second guess about whether or not you should send the thing or you should say the thing. Whatever the thing is, we never got into what like the things were, and it's not obvious because we honestly say eventually mostly everything.
Yeah, there's lots of times, I know this to be true, is that I understand very deeply to my core that most of the time my first thought is wrong. And that I need to figure out why my first thought is my first thought, because sometimes it's just wild and crazy.
And sometimes when I realize you've had a thought, I make you say it anyways. When I'm just like, what are you thinking? And you're like, nope, it's not the time. And I was like, and I'm an impatient person. I'm a conflict resolution. I was like, no, you have to tell me. You have to tell me right now. And you were like, no, it's not right.
It's not right. Like, I think we talked about this we definitely talked about this on a previous episode, but like most of the time, my first thought involves like the idea that someone's trying to take advantage of the situation that I'm unaware of it, which is like one of like the core
like paranoia.
Which is one of the core things that I have to work on therapy and the EMDR regularly, is that I don't like to be taken advantage of. I don't like people getting one up on me. Which inherently means I like to be the smartest person in the room. Yeah. And a lot of my first thoughts are based on, like, not all the time, but like when I'm in a mode and fight or flight, and something happens, my first thought is always like, all right, who is trying to run one over on us?
Oh yeah, I think that this was the episode. I think we were doing like Know Thyself, and it was like optimist or something.
View of the world.
Yeah, and I was like sunshine and rainbows, and you were not. Yeah, I think that when I think that the mom guilt is like a good example of something that like I usually choose not to say or not to post. And like in earlier years, and I think like younger and more mature, emotionally, and yeah, I think that like, if I would have moments of jealousy, not based in reality, like most of the time I just keep those to myself.
Yeah, I remember I used to get a little jealous, like if I like wouldn't go to the reservation with you, or Emma's dad was coming to stay here and I went to work.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Because it's not right.
Because those are the things that we keep to ourselves. And so like, so I think that most of the time, like I'll keep those initial things to myself. And sometimes it's because I'm embarrassed that that's my initial thought. I don't even.
Yeah.
And
I'm supposed to be better than that.
I don't know. I don't know that we're supposed to be better than that, but
I am.
I think that like I struggle to be like I struggle to show my faults, even though I really enjoy being a human being who's fallible. And so it's ironic and maybe a little bit not true, and maybe it's a lie that I tell myself that like being fallible is something that's important to me. but I also like really hate to be wrong. And I really hate to show my faults. And trust me that this is like the parts work of my childhood that we're getting to in therapy is like and why do you feel like it's not safe to make mistakes? Why do you feel like if you say something that's inherently not true, that the whole world is going to fall apart and you'll never recover from it? There's a reason. That's not today's episode, but there's a reason.
Noted.
It could be. I mean, it could be. Anything is possible. This is not really scripted. It's just guided.
Most of the time, it's not even guided.
Most of the time, it's not even guided. I just have a few things that I want to touch on. And so...
Yeah, I think the fallibility is hard to bring up sometimes. And not that I have too many things that I foul out on, but it's just like, I come with a lot of shame, and I have this idea of a person that I'm supposed to be, and to me, I'm always missing the mark. Like, I wake up, and I'm instantly not good enough for the day. Doesn't even matter what I've done.
Yeah, yes. I mean, not about you. I think that you're killing it. And so these are the things that we can say to each other, but we have a hard time saying to ourselves. Last week at work, shout out to Jenny and Kat. I stopped everything that I was doing and I was sitting next to them. I was working and I look up and I said, I know that this thought is wrong. I know that it's wrong, but I have to say it out loud. I haven't told you this and you're going to laugh at me. Because they did. I said, guys, is it possible that I don't have ADHD and I'm just faking it? And that maybe maybe my meds aren't working very well anymore because maybe I'm just not, maybe I don't really have ADHD. And Jenny full pivots in the chair to me and she was like, yeah, or maybe you took enough she didn't say this, but the equation, the simile to it is she was basically or maybe you had a migraine and you took enough medication for a headache, which is it's not, you just haven't figured it out yet. You just you're still injured. And then today I had a review, an annual review at work with my boss, which we haven't even talked about that. But I, again, to my humans, to my girls, I was like, hey, so do you think I'm going to get fired today? Do you think maybe this is the beginning of the end? And I was like, Jenny, you have to tell me because you know everything that happens here. You have to tell me. Friend code, you have to tell me. Again, she's very busy this week, but she full pivoted in the chair and she was like, I have no idea what your scores are, but I can say with certainty that you're safe. And it's just and I'm not even saying it to be funny, that there's a piece of me that a unbelievably strong piece of me that feels like I'm constantly letting everybody down.
I remember a couple of years ago, I was at work, and it was a Monday, and I heard my name said on the other side of a door, and by Tuesday, I was convinced that I was getting fired.
Oh my gosh, that was a rough week.
And then Wednesday, I was like, I'm going to walk out. They're not going to get one on me. I'm sure of it. I'm going to quit. I'm going to walk in on Friday. I'm going to hand in my resignation. I'm going to walk out.
You were looking, you were starting to fix up your resume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thursday, I was fixing up my resume. Friday, I go into work and I get asked to go into the office, and it's the plant manager and the production manager, and they're sitting in the room and they tell me to shut the door and they pull out a yellow envelope. I'm like, motherfucker. And I'm full panic mode.
You're they beat me to it. They beat me to it.
So fuck, they got me. And
Everybody knows I'm a fraud.
Everyone knows I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
That's the thing I've actually been working on in therapy.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second, probably. But yeah, I'm like, my legs are like full bobbing. There's no slowing my mind down at this point. And they're like, I literally told them, I was like, all right, can we just get this over with so I can get out of here?
I can't wait for you to tell our listeners like what happened and where you are today.
So, fun story. They had a very large bonus for me, and then a week later a promotion, and that was a few years ago. And since then, I've had many raises and many promotions.
And you just had the biggest promotion.
And I just had the biggest promotion, which now is LinkedIn official, so I can say it out loud.
Say it out loud.
That I have officially made it to a director position.
Hell yeah, you have. I'm so proud of you.
And I made it myself.
You did, and you struggled because yeah, like when do I learn that I'm not a fraud?
Yeah.
When do I learn that? If you, I know that there are several people who have like worked with me before who listen to this. Did you know that I was freaking out every day thinking that, in the moments where I wasn't activated and doing like the emergency portions of my job, I was just like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have no idea what I'm doing. Except for that, like, all of my, like, I'm completely competent in all of my skills. Yeah. And I when I'm in the moment and there's pressure on, I feel very confident and sure, because of my experience, not because I'm faking it.
When I flip the switch, like, I'm in command.
Yeah.
Like, I always listen to all the things, and I figure out the best path forward, and then that's the thing that we do. I'm very capable of being that person. And in my mind, and not only have I been working on it, like been talking to it through therapy and all this stuff recently, like I've been talking to my sponsor about it, which, like, if I'm talking to my sponsor about it, then you know it's a bad. It's like, I told him that I said something. I said, yeah, I just keep pretending that I'm supposed to be in the room. And he says, what if you're actually supposed to be in the room? Or it's like,
rude.
Fucking rude. Shout
That
out to Michael.
Rude. Which brings me to.
So glad I grabbed the octopus.
Which brings me to this other sort of idea. So, like, some of the things that we don't share, just like a little recap, right? Like, some of the things that we don't share largely are because we don't want to inconvenience other people, or
sure.
we're convinced for no reason in our adulthood that we're frauds, and we're just faking everything. Not real. I promise. I am actually very competent. It's just trauma. I don't know. But also, like, some things that we choose not to share to each other. And I think that this is an important one if you're, like, struggling in your relationship. Like, sometimes it's not actually either of our business what our first thought is, right? Like, it's not the other person's business what that first thought is, because that first thought is wrong. Like, it's not our business, but it's also, like, there's a piece that we have to take accountability. The jealousy is a good example, right? Like, I did not need to tell you every time I was jealous until it started having a negative impact on my mental health that I could not resolve. And there, I don't know, once, maybe twice, I was just like, hey, I just want you to know, like, this is, like, my thoughts. These are my feelings. And my thoughts and feelings of my jealousy weren't even related to, like, you acting out in a specific way. Which, based on what you just shared, that you were like, me going to the res or Jimmy coming over here, it wasn't actually, like, based in reality.
No.
And so I kept those to myself because I knew that that was like old insecurities until I couldn't drop the loop. Until I was just like stuck in this mode and I like was building everything up and everything felt in my head like chaos and I had to say it out loud. And the approach that I took both with wife guilt and with jealousy, because I feel like those are two separate things, but still like things that I kept to myself, is not accusatory, right? Or at least I don't
You
feel
have
like
not accused me of cheating. That's true.
I've never accused you of cheating. I also didn't
I
accuse
ain't got
you.
time for that shit.
I I don't even think it's about time. I think you don't have desire for that shit.
Yeah.
But like the like when I for me came to like talk about the things that I didn't want to say, couldn't say, felt guilty saying, felt embarrassed feeling, I wanted to provide you information to understand what was happening inside of me that was clearly starting to have an impact on you. And it wasn't ever to be like, change things, do things, resolve things. It was really to get it out of my body so that it couldn't have control on me anymore. And I guess like mom guilt, wife guilt, I'll work on that. So why did you choose to say any of the things or not say any of the things?
I think that when I don't say the thing is like I'm embarrassed that it's a thought in my mind, and I'm convinced that my mind's broken regularly. And I know that it's wrong. So I guess when I started doing EMDR therapy, that I told Marique that I understand that I can have two opposing, completely polar views in my mind, and I can believe that both of them are true at the same time. And I don't know how to stop that. Is that I know that I am safe, but my body doesn't feel safe. I know, like, a couple of years ago, in like a relatively close amount of time, like I'd be upstairs in a shower, and like, you know, I'm not far from taking like a 30 or 45-minute shower, but like I'd get to like an hour, and the water would be cold, and I would be too scared to leave the shower because something was on the other side of the curtain. Even though I know nothing's in the house because I already locked the fucking door.
The bear outside.
The bear outside. And my body has been trained that the other shoe will eventually drop. And that isn't our reality today. So I have to give myself the time to, before I can figure out what reality actually is, to know that the bear is not there.
Have we talked about the theory of the bear outside?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, good. If you don't know what I'm talking about,
You can tell me, it's fine.
no. If you don't know what we're talking about, like find us on Instagram or text me or something, and I'll tell you the story.
And the other part is, I know that I have shame, and I'm not sure if it's guilt, but I seen this on Instagram the other day, and it made me cry because it was true. Is that my biggest fear is you seeing me as I see myself.
Oof.
Yeah.
I unfortunately share that fear. But from me to you.
The fear is you seeing me as I see myself.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a no. That was a no answer.
Sorry, I just am like riveted by that sort of idea. And I wish that like you could see yourself like I see you. Which is why I made you do boudoir with me last year.
Those are pretty good photos.
Those are really good photos. We did boudoir last year. It was a lovely experience.
I was tricked into it.
He wasn't tricked at all. He was going to see his wife naked, and he did. So, any opportunity for that?
I did discover a new kink. I like being photographed.
That's one of the things that we learned. That's for sure. So I think that I've had like a few rude revelations in therapy in the past few weeks that feels linked to this kind of stuff.
Me too.
And so like thinking about the things that we leave unsaid or the things that we choose to share. One of them hit me this week, and then one has been sitting with me for a few weeks, so I'll try to remember both. A few weeks ago, I was struggling, of course, because that's how it happens. And Irene is my therapist, and I said,
Shout out Irene.
Shout out Irene.
So many people are getting shouted.
I know. There was a time.
I should get one of those sweet buttons that are like, beep, 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 beep.
There was a time, like 10 episodes ago, where we tried to not have to, not share your names.
Fuck it.
But there's like so many Irenes out there. Good luck. So I was super amped up that day, and I was like feeling all of my feelings, which does not happen very often. I'm not very good at feeling the feelings, or I'm very good at describing situations analytically. Like I can tell you exactly what happened and all of the things, but I can't really tell you what I was feeling, and it's a work in progress. Anyway, so
I describe feelings with facts.
With facts, yes. And so a few weeks ago, though, I was clearly frustrated about something. And then, and I said, Irene, why is it that I'm still talking about this 2 years in? Like, why haven't we fixed this yet?
You're not doing your job.
What's happening? And I didn't even feel like I was trying to be like, do better to her. And she just looked at me and she gave this face that was like, hey. She just like let me fill in the blank. She was like, hey, you know the answer. And I was like, you're telling me. She didn't say anything. And I just looked at her. I said, you're telling me that I'm driving the car? And she said, yeah, you're driving the car. So like, we're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about, but you have to talk about it. And I don't know why. The thing that's rude is that the two things I want to talk about is obvious if you're looking at it. But I didn't see it. Like, I was waiting for her to ask me questions in order for me to have growth. For her to be, like, this stereotypical, and how does that make you feel? Which we do. Like, she does. And I was like, you know damn well I don't know my feelings. So, like, that... There was a few things that you were saying earlier, and I was like, I just can't believe that I'm driving. I can't believe that we're driving this life. That we're in the driver's seat. That I'm in the barber's chair.
Getting the haircut.
Getting the fucking haircut. And I'm in charge. Like, that's what that means. It means that I'm in charge. That I get to choose what I do and what I don't say. And I think that that is part of why I was like, man, I should just have a conversation with my husband that, like, I have to work on feeling guilty about everything. And it's a conversation that I have had for years, but never specifically about, like, wife guilt, but feeling guilty about everything, and that, like, I'm failing to meet some need that nobody has ever expressed to me. Because, as it turns out, I'm in the fucking chair. And I have to choose what I do and I don't talk about. And that's like, and that I can't grow without that. And that was rude to learn. And then I was like to Irene, I was like, oh, okay. I gotta go now. And unfortunately, like, I can't say that. I'll wait. No, I'll wait. I'll wait, because it has to do with the second thing. Any thoughts? Any thoughts on being in the driver's chair or a rude revelation you've had, or do you want to wait?
I think I've already given my rude revelations.
Oh, you just were like, me too, when I was like, I had a revelation.
Oh. My revelations were for the next of this episode, I'm sure. The one where I'm definitely going to piss some people off.
We'll see if it happens today. So then the next thing, I was telling you about this yesterday. And so what I was going to say off of the, I'm in the driver's chair, I'm in the barbershop, whatever, right? Like, I'm the boss of my own life. And therefore, like, I have to take control of the things that I say. And then that's how growth happens. And so I've had therapy every week since then, because that's how my therapy works. And I haven't got any like deeper on the conversations, even though I know that I'm driving now, even though I'm aware. And I feel like an hour is not enough time to discuss anything that gets much deeper. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not true. But this comes with somehow it's July, and I feel like I'm in like yet another bout of depression. And so yesterday I said to you, you know what's really rude? Nobody told this to me, and it just dawned on me yesterday, but it's going to be obvious when I say it. But I said it to Christian yesterday, and then we had a conversation about it. You know what's really rude? When you realize that you don't have seasonal depression. That you actually, and this was a while ago.
Yesterday was I statements.
You're right. Yesterday was I statements, and right now I'm doing you statements. Well, I'm gonna restart. Thanks. I'm gonna flip it and reverse it. Yesterday I said, you know what's really rude? When I figured out, or when I realized that I didn't have seasonal depression, that I have chronic depression that sometimes gets worse in some seasons, and that those seasons are not always, oh man, and that those
I statements suck.
and that those seasons are not always dark and gloomy outside. It's not just the dark months. It's not just winter, right? It's not just like lack of vitamin D. And man, I did not cry yesterday, but I'm crying today.
Zoe was in the car, and she was driving.
So it's like, it's really hard to, like, in my mind, I'm always problem solving. And that, like, I'm always trying to figure out, like, why can't I figure it out? Why can't I get more done? I'm doing a lot of stuff. That's ridiculous. I was up until 2:00 fulfilling an order for one of our side hustles with Christian the other night. But, like, why can't I be more? Why can't I do more? Why, like, my guilt? Like, my guilt is a running factor. And so then as I was, like, sitting in the car, and I was like, oh, maybe it's my vitamin D levels. Maybe it's seasonal depression. Like, maybe it's the thing. And then I was like, well, I don't have seasonal depression. I'm clinically diagnosed with chronic depression for my whole fucking life. And PTSD and everything else. And so I don't like, it's obvious. It's obvious. Like I just wasn't aware. And that was really fucking rude, and I hurt my own feelings. Clearly, because I cried about it on screen.
On the podcast.
And I don't know when it gets easier.
That's the hard part for me, is that not specifically your thing, but that I know that I have made leaps and bounds in rewiring my brain. And sometimes it feels like it's a never-ending battle and that it's never going to change. And of course, there's another train of thought that leads after that. And that's hard for me. Is that, a lot of what we're talking about right now is generationally learned and generationally taught and genetically passed down. Mm-hmm. And that makes me sad. Yeah. And for me, that's dad guilt.
Yeah, you really questioned whether or not, like, you should even have, like, any biological kids. In the beginning of our relationship, there was like a lot of talk about, maybe not.
I don't think I should.
I don't think I should pass that on.
Yeah.
Because, like, you had the guilt even before we were together.
Yeah.
I'm probably not the problem. Even though in my mind I think that I'm always the problem. But not really. And so, like, that makes sense. That's a factor for you thinking about the pieces we pass on.
Yep.
Rude.
Rude.
Real rude.
I wish this octopus was heavier.
That's fair. So what are we gonna do to change it? Or
I keep going to therapy.
Or what do we think the goal is?
I think for me, recently, specifically, the past 2 weeks, and I talked about this in a meeting, and I'm not sure that, like, I briefly brought it up when we were talking yesterday in the car, is that for the past 2 weeks, I've been changing my rhetoric and changing my words and trying to force my brain to change its thought pattern. And I know that my biggest character defect at the moment is not believing that I am worthy or deserving or that I belong in the room or at the table or in this house. And I do. And I think that, first off, I cheated a little bit and we were working EMDR on it, that we haven't actually finished the session at all. I've had to put little Christian in the fucking box for 2 weeks in a row. I have a tattoo that I covered up when I got clean. And the tattoo was, essentially my drug dealer name or my street name or whatever. And to me, in my mind, still today, that person exists. And when I'm talking to Marique, we're talking about right now how there's a piece of me that's terrified that I'm faking the rest of it. And this is something I don't bring up because it's not real. It's not right. Like, I know that it's not right. But that sits with me regularly. That this person is just waiting to come out. Just waiting for me to drop the ball. And then, bam, it's all over. Which is not real. And I've been working on that on EMDR therapy. And for the past week and a half, there have been many times that I've found myself alone for a few minutes or a couple hours cleaning the house, and I'll just start crying. Full crying. And that's not sad. Like, I'm not sad, and I'm not depressed in the moment. And I'm starting to feel gratitude. And it's still a hard change. And I just gave myself goosebumps. My whole body just, it's vibrating. And I think that I'm cutting out, and this became extremely apparent on Father's Day.
Yep.
I'm cutting out the pieces that bring me back to that. And that process is hard.
Yeah.
I'm cutting out the friends, and I'm putting hard boundaries. Finally, I'm no longer procrastinating like on a previous episode. Saying the thing, I said the thing. And I'm working on the inner child piece, which I still have a hard time with.
Me too.
Remember that one time we went to adult
children of alcoholics and addicts?
We went to like 2 or 3 meetings.
It was the right meeting at the wrong time.
I'm confident that we would view it a little differently now, but at that moment we were like, you fucking fucks.
I think that so adult children of alcoholics or addicts, whatever. In the moment, like, I knew, and I was like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be, and I can't be here.
We were completely uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I'm still
and full panic.
I completely forgot about that meeting, and I'm sure that Irene will love to know about that in the future. But, like, I have a really hard time with language, and that's inner child work is hard for me because I really struggle with the idea of, you said, like, there's a little Christian. Like, I can't see myself as a little girl. Like, I literally cannot envision it. I cannot see it, and I feel unbelievably uncomfortable in my skin to think that there is a younger version of me because safety, right?
Fun story. I used Junior.
Visually?
Yeah.
Because you can't picture yourself at his age.
Yeah.
That's a tactic.
I just assumed that Junior and I looked similar and act similar.
That's probably true to some extent. I don't have one of those, but maybe I use Junior. I don't know. Shout out to Junior.
He's not my
buddy.
junior.
No.
But he is our junior.
He's our junior. Our buddy. I am proud of you. I think that And I'm glad that you brought the full crying back up, because when you mentioned it yesterday, I didn't clock that it was anything other than sorrow. Like I don't think I've ever experienced such a thing unless I was actively watching a wedding. And
Me neither. That's what I'm talking about. Been super fucked up.
and
Well, I've been wearing my sunglasses.
you have been wearing your sunglasses inside quite a bit, including today.
Yeah.
Listening to songs that hurt your feelings. But I'm proud of you for sticking with the work. One of the things that I had said earlier this week to you was when does it get easier? I'm still feel like I'm in the hard part of therapy. And I don't know when it does. And I'm sure that it's worth it.
There's that other Instagram thing that goes around regularly, every few months or every spring or whatever, where it's that guy in a mall and he's walking up the staircase, but he keeps falling down on the trampoline and gets back up, and they're like, this is what mental health, or this is what survival for mental health looks like. He'll take a few steps and then he'll fall, and then he'll drop a step and then he'll take a few more steps and then he'll fall, and then he'll get to the top and then he'll fall and he'll start back at the bottom, and then he'll fall and then he'll start back at the bottom and then he'll fall and then he'll get to the top and then he'll fall and then
I don't know that I've ever seen that.
oh, it's
Next time you see it, send it to me.
yeah, it's just that's what mental health is. The other thing that I keep seeing regularly, and I think, and regularly is not right. I've only recently started seeing it, and I think it has everything to do with Facebook and Instagram constantly listening to our conversations.
Mm-hmm.
It said that millennial dads are the greatest dads ever to have existed, because
Must be true.
not only did we grow up with running around amok outside and not having cell phones and technology and shit, we also have those things, and we're trying desperately to fix generational trauma while be fully supporting the family, and while trying to be a good partner, while trying to do a plethora of other things, and change the idea of what it means to be a man and a dad and a husband and all the things, and that is hard, and it'll be a little less hard for the next generation, and it'll be a little less hard after that generation, as long as the world doesn't blow up between them.
Yeah. I am not a millennial dad, but I agree with a lot of those other pieces, right? Is the world is so different, and that we were sort of teetered on these two key differing experiences. And yeah, I think we hustle hard. I think that people who I find that are like-minded to us, whether they are at the same level as us or beyond where we are, or just completely on their own journey, are people who trauma or life or dirt in an open wound, whatever it is, right, is all of those experiences were really critical in order to help us help other people and help us help our kids, and eventually reparent ourselves and what that looks like. And I think that we often are man, I have so much empathy and ability to understand and grace due to not having cell phones, being able to run amok outside, all of the things, and childhood trauma, and then breaking generational harm, and then seeing it in the generation of our children, what it means to like not continue the cycle. And so it's just a crazy time. Like, I think that trauma and harm has existed likely in every generation at some extent.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And it is important for us to, there's a bug here, and it's important for us to be able to take what we know and shift and make it better for our kids.
Yeah, the goal has always been to break the cycle, and then the goal got added to building legacy, and this is what that looks like now, which is something that I wasn't prepared for earlier.
I think I have a question for us to go out on because we're at almost an hour.
Fucking all right.
What's something that you used to hide that you've made peace with? And who got to meet the real you because of it?
I think for me this one's relatively easy to answer. I have always hid my mind. I have walls and masks and all sorts of things that protect me from being seen by other people. And you taught me specifically that all of my pieces are all right. And now, today, 95% of the time, everyone gets the full version of me.
Yeah.
Even when it's probably inappropriate.
Sometimes.
Remember that one time I told our daughter about Tinder?
Oh my God, 2 weeks ago. I do remember that vividly, but not fondly. And it wasn't in a space where I could have any additions.
Not our 5-year-old, by the way.
No, God, no. Our 19-year-old. Something that I used to hide that I made peace with, and then who got to meet the real me because of it. I used to hide that I was afraid that I was not lovable. And that I wasn't worth it. I wasn't worthy of anybody's time. And I used to hide that I was like, that I was wildly insecure. Like I used to hide that pretty well. And I changed that, and all of that changed when I met you, and how our friendship grew, but really when we started dating, because I didn't get it. I didn't get that I was lovable and worthy and worth it. And I created a narrative in myself that I found acceptable for so long that I thought that was real and truthful until I was shown that I deserved more than I ever allowed myself to believe I could have. And who got to meet me because of that change? I think I gladly, continually am meeting myself. I think that our 19-year-old, who was not 19 at the time, but 8, got to meet me in a space where she could learn what it's like to love yourself and to expect somebody else to love all of the pieces of you. And I think that the other people who got to meet me were the people that I said goodbye to. When I began to understand that I wasn't a consolation prize as a friend or as a partner, it made it easier to walk away from friendships and family relationships that no longer served me or had my best interest in mind. And I didn't want to be collateral damage anymore. And on another episode, I'll tell you how I broke up with my dad. But not this one.
But not this one.
Yeah.
I think the thing that ties to all of these things is one of my least favorite parts about step work.
Mm-hmm.
Part of step work, there's two things, and it gets me every time. And I've done many rounds of steps.
Many
Many
in
rounds
the
of
15
steps.
years.
Almost 15 years.
Almost 15 years.
33 days. And with many people.
That's true.
Yeah. There's two lists that eventually get made in step work. And the first is an amends list. And it's always all of the people that we have to make amends to. And every time when I'm going over the amends list, they said, "You forgot one." And I said, "No, I didn't." And they said, "Yes, you did." And I said, "You're a fuck."
Yourself.
Yeah. And then the gratitude list, which is the exact same.
That you always forget to have gratitude for yourself.
Yeah.
All versions of you are acceptable.
Yep. That's the thing that you keep telling me.
I mean it every time. I love you.
I love you.
And next episode, you might have a few less friends.
It's probably true. But that means they weren't supposed to be here anyway.
Means they weren't supposed to be here anyways. I'm glad we had this episode. I'm glad that we had to talk about some of the things that we don't talk about in the whys. I think a good way to maintain a relationship that is as good and as strong as ours is to be unbelievably uncomfortable in conversation until it's not. And the best way to do that is to vocalize the thing that eats at the back of our brain. And our practice is like once we say it out loud, if our brain can't let it go, that's when everything starts to get easier. Even if we have to say it out loud and say, I know this isn't based in reality, but this is what is stuck in my brain. And I appreciate you being my best friend and my partner who can continually hear the nonsense in my brain. Make me feel safe.
Make you feel safe, or I make you feel safe?
Yes. But I mean, you make me feel safe.
Yeah. Good job, me.
You and the octopus. All right, everybody. This is Two Poor Kids. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.